All right, so this is my second time trying to record this thing. I'm gonna try to make it under 15 minutes. It's my goal today. This is my review of Diablo 4. I'm not impressed with the game. I'm gonna tell you already. It's negative. And I'm gonna take out the positive. I'm gonna take the positive out of the way right now, so that we can focus on what's wrong with the game and why people are not gonna play it very long. So positively, the game is extremely stable. I have no crashes, no issue to get into server. There was no server issue. There was no major problem whatsoever. I haven't seen a single glitch. I haven't seen anything that made me go, oh shit, this is poorly coded. Everything is smooth. And there's been reports of people having like a great time for a release game. That's the first time this happens in recent memory. I haven't seen a game run this smooth on release in like 10 years. Okay, so that's very positive. Also, no pay to win. They didn't put pay to win in the game. I thought they would at release. They didn't. It doesn't mean that the seasons are not going to be riddled with these pay to win mechanics that they're going to slowly introduce. But for now, there's no pay to win. And for people who are screaming, they said there was not going to be pay to win. What are you talking about? They've been blatantly lying to us for like 6 or 7 years. Every time they do a press conference, they say something and they do the exact opposite. They are pathological liars in that company. There is no reason why they wouldn't have lied this time. But for now, there's no pay to win. So that's the positive. On that note, I have one thing to say about that. Just because I want to call it if it's revealed to be true. I have a feeling that this game is a reskin of another game that was already in development, because they've been talking about Diablo 4 for what, 3 years, and these types of games are normally developed over like almost a decade now, and this thing is extremely polished. It is a finished product. It's not a good one, but it is polished, and that makes me think that this game was something probably done in Korea or something or whatever, and it was already a finished game, but Blizzard bought it from the company, or they bought the actual division of the company, and they just added it to them, reskinned everything to look Diablo-like, and then released it. That's a theory that I have. It might be completely wrong, but I've got that vibe that something's not right. Because I'm like, this is a game that is finished, polished, and that it looks like a game that has been released for a little bit, or at least that has been ready to be released for a little bit. And Blizzard have announced the game, released it, and within 3 years, and boom, we've got a finished, polished product. So, but I might just be very a skeptical man. So take that with a grain of salt. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes, the main dish. Scaling system. The scaling system, looting system, the legendary systems are the problem with this game. They are a major issue and the reason why people will only play this game in 1 week. Now, I'm not going to say you're not going to have fun for the first few days. A lot of people have been saying, and I've seen people that I duly respect online, that I normally use for reviews, that are saying they're having a great time with Diablo, that it's a fun game. But I think it is a BA's opinion based on the fact that it's a new game, and that trying something new, I had fun in the first few days too, because I was trying new skills, I was playing a new story, and there's not a lot of thing on the market, so I was really eager to try something. And I had fun. I was throwing fireballs because I had a sorcerer. This character is my alternate character, and I was throwing fireballs and I was having fun and I was testing builds and shit. But after a while, you get to the end game, okay? And this is where you're gonna know if the game is actually gonna be good, because you're gonna spend I spent less than 8 hours on the story, and after that it was a grind fest. And and after a while you just notice how shitty the system is. Let me explain. Scaling system, the way it works, I'm gonna try to be quick about it. The scaling system, the way it works is you level up and the mobs level with you, okay? That's fairly simple. Now the problem is, while mob levels, your gear doesn't. So you need to apply the new gear you found and put it on your person to be somewhat competitive with the mobs. One of the biggest mistakes they make is they made power spike for those mobs. Certain level, they hit a threshold where they're gonna get severely more powerful. It's not a constant scaling, is what I mean. They're not gonna add up like 10 stats every level and they're just gonna be a bit stronger. No. They do that for a little bit and then they get a huge power spike. For whatever reason, Blizzard decided to do that. Maybe they thought you were going to get super powerful at that level, which is a poor design choice. Because what happens is, you get to those power spike level, and you're barely okay at farming monsters at your level, and then you hit, let's say, 60, and then the mobs just get so much more powerful, and you get wiped. And people are going to tell me, well, it's just how the game is harder. Why are you complaining? Well, I'm complaining about how the game is harder. If I put the game on a harder difficulty or I get into a rift that's harder, or in this instance, how it works is you actually, I don't have it on this character, but you actually get vials. They're inconsumable normally, which are going to put your dungeons in nightmare mode. And this is how you should scale the difficulty of a game, not just my dungeon farming just suddenly got impossible to do because the mobs get a power spike that is just wiping the floor with me. It makes no sense. That has bricked some characters, okay? Because if you respec and you're not that strong and the monster hits a power spike while you level up, you're fucked. Like, you can't even farm your gear anymore. Like, your character is bricked. You have to do a new one. And that's a really bad design. But it's not the worst, because it's a specific situation. So if you don't respect your character and you play the same thing for a long time, you're not going to run into this. The other problem you're going to run into is, in my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes I've ever seen in an ARPG is the fucking legendary system, which is absolute garbage. First of all, we're going to just talk about how you're supposed to put these on every single piece you've got. Okay, I have a lot of pieces, okay? And since it's a scaling system, I need to change those pieces every few levels or I suck cocks, okay? That's how the game is designed. You need to change these. So let's say you have those pants and, well, those ones are not a good example, but let's say my mace, it's the best example. It's my weapon. So I get into a certain point where I need to change my mace because it's been 4 or 5 levels. Now, the imprint I have on my mace is a huge damage boost, so I need to put it on my other mace. And if that's not enough, talk about your fury generator skills. That's not an option. You need those on your gear. And it's like that for every single character. You need your generators for whatever kind of resources you're using to be on your gear. And those generators most likely are going to be on your legendary items. And some of these items are going to have, I'm using Hammer of the Ancient, so some of these items are going to have stuff for your actual clear. Like, you need these. They're mandatory. If you don't use this, your entire build's not working. So you got like maybe 4, 5 legendary affixes that are absolutely mandatory, that if you don't put them on your build, it bricks the entire thing. So you need them. And the other ones just power boost your character. So for a while, you can live without putting those boosts on your character. Problem is, for those who are mandatory, let's say you drop a mace and it's a bit stronger than this one. Well, the first thing you're going to do is, well, fuck that mace, because I'm not going to pay the money that I need to put the legendary affix on it, because if it was cheap, I'd be like, okay. But it has not been tested for sure, because I have a level 60 something sorcerer, I think, and I farmed nightmare dungeons and I got gold, and I used all that gold for my alternate character. And when I started this guy, I had 600,000 gold. I am now at 150,000. I cannot sustain my character by putting a legendary affix on my items because it's too expensive. Sorry. And so it's a huge flaw, because you're going to drop that mace and you're going to be like, well, it's better than my mace, but I can't lose my legendary affix, so fuck this mace. And at some point, you're going to get shit on, and it's like that for every single piece of gear. Some yellow items, you're going to be fine with switching them. You're going to be like, okay, you know what? I'll take that yellow item and I'll put it on because I don't have a legendary affix, or I don't need that legendary affix that much. But for most items, you don't do it. So what that implies is you're going to farm for 4 or 5 hours dungeons, and every single power spike item you get, you're not going to put them on because it's too expensive. to like put your legendary affix on them. So you're either gonna store them or sell them and just wait until you get another one, and you actually know like, okay, this one I think I've grinded enough to have like so for it to be worthwhile for me to put that legendary affix. It's not the way it should be. It is not a good way in my opinion. It's just, well, not in my opinion. It's not a good way. It's not good. It's bad. It's really, really bad. I don't understand how Blizzard can think that having not enough gold to put your legendary affixes on your item be a good idea. And that's just one of the issues those legendary affix are facing. It's like no gamers have tried this system before they released it, because they would have told them, hey, this thing is not working. Because, okay, those legendary affixes, okay, some of them you don't find in dungeons. Some of them you can only find on items. Now, in all likelihood, while you level up, you should get stronger legendary affix. But that's not how it works. The legendary affix you find low levels are gonna be the same as high level. There are different, and the worst part is they decided to have different name on legendary affixes, like Sacred and Ancient and whatnot, so that they showed, and they have an actual, I don't have any on me right now, but I've seen them. They actually have a visual difference to show you how powerful they are, but they have the same number rolls that can roll on them. What the fuck? Like, what are we talking about here? Why would you give an ancient legendary the same affix roll as the regular one? What does that mean, Gorse? Let me explain to you. It's going to be very simple. It means the shitty boots you find at low level, if they have the best roll you can get, this one's a bad example, but this one's a good one. It's a perfect roll armor of the ancient. This legendary affix, I can carry until the late game. So every time I need to switch this fucking weapon, I need to take off my legendary aspect and reapply it, because it's the best roll you're gonna get ever. It has 100%, like it's the maximum. You know what I mean? So okay, what are you? So that's just like it blows my mind. And some people might say, well, I like this system. Cool. Maybe you think grinding the thing like is fun, but most people are not going to like it. Most people are going to be like, listen, farming those fucking items on dungeons and having no sense of power up whatsoever, and having to restrict myself when I get an upgrade to put it on because it's too expensive, it defeats the whole purpose of an ARPG, of loot. I can't put my loot on, and the loot I find is the same loot, and it's not fun. I don't understand what the thinking was in there. So that's just a legendary system. It's a big issue, okay? Basically what you do is, and don't even get me started on upgrades, because what this entire system is showing you is that everything you get before you're level 100 is trash, okay? If you're farming level 70 and you're trying to upgrade your gear or get better, it would be better for you to grind your XP to the highest level possible and then upgrade it, because it's actually gonna have an impact. Like the guy who's farming level 70, okay, for his advanced, like I don't know the level above Nightmare, it's probably Hell, for his Hell level shit to be able to beat Hell, it would be more effective for him to just grind dungeon until he's 100 and then try to advance, you know? So that's a huge waste of time, and that's just from the loot system. So the loot system is already a reason not to play the game. You're gonna have fun for a couple days while you level up, and once you get into that actual grind, it is not fun. It remembers me, if you guys have played Wolcen, it remembers me of Wolcen. This game is bland. It is the best way to possibly, if it had to be a savor, it would be vanilla. If it had to be an ice cream, it would be vanilla. It's the most plain shit you'd ever play. Don't even get me started on the dungeon system. They at least, with the Tree of Whispers, they at least gave you a reason to rotate dungeons a bit. But mostly what you're gonna do is just walk to a dungeon, and I told this when I reviewed the beta. The entire open world thing, absolutely use this. First of all, nobody likes to do side quests. So we're already passing the main course, okay? Now I'm just gonna get on the cherry on the top, okay? The entire dungeons and whatnot system, I don't like it. It's not fun. The mobs all look the same, okay? They all look the same. Elites and bosses all look the same. I do a dungeon, I've done them all, you know what I mean? And at least you don't have to do every single dungeon. Like some guys just found dungeons that are more efficient to run than others, and as expected, they're just running those ones. But with the Trio of Whisperers, you at least have a reason to try and do other dungeons because it gives you an extra cash. So that's one thing that's cool. But the entire open world thing, I didn't like the side quests. Like looking, I'm gonna try to put a clip here. Looking for specific items in a specific area for hours and hours is not fun in an ARPG. I don't want to have to look for your fucking dry weed that you dropped everywhere in that area and that I have to pick up and go give back to. I want to kill mobs. I want to kill stuff. Like, or go kill that one elite over there. Dude, I'm doing 15 elites when I do a dungeon. Can you at least give me a boss to kill on side quests? Or like a bunch of elites? No, they're really empty. They're boring. You don't want to do them. So that's the boring part. And going to a dungeon, you're going to skip everything. Because regular mobs, they have either no chance of drops or close to zero. I have killed a lot of monsters since I've started playing this game because I had it for the early release and I haven't got a single drop from my regular mobs. So I'm assuming the only drop rate, or at least decent drop rate, is from elites. And when you're running around, you're not going to stop to kill one elite. No, people just beeline with their horses, get to the dungeon, run the dungeon. So the entire open world absolutely use this. And by the way, my personal opinion, I don't think the game looks that good like visually. It's not the greatest, but that's just an opinion. You don't need that to enjoy the game. And so, yeah, this whole thing, there's probably stuff I'm forgetting, but this whole game is a huge disappointment for me. My expectations were low. I met them. It's not going to be fun. Like, people are going to shit on me in the comments. Please, at least tell me you've played 15 hours. Because if you're a filthy casual and you play 3 hours a week and you come and you tell me this is the greatest game, you've played it for 3 hours. I can play Monopoly for 3 hours and have fun. Doesn't mean it's a great game, okay? It just means that I'm having fun with my friends. Like, if a game is actually good and you're actually having fun, you're gonna be addicted. You're gonna want to play it for 10 plus hours. If you haven't played this game for 15 hours yet, please try it for 15 hours and come back to me and tell me you still like it. That's fine. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can feel that in 2 weeks this entire fucking game is going to be empty. Nobody's going to be playing Diablo 4. Nobody. And in my opinion, and this is just an opinion because everything else I told you is facts. In my opinion, skills are boring. The skills are extremely boring. Like, I've been playing Barbarian, and if you're playing, first of all, respecking, because I thought it was cool that respecking wasn't expensive, but with the gear problem, you can't respec. If you're level 50, forget about respecking. You're taking a huge fucking gamble because there's a possibility your gear sucks, and after a while you notice that your build isn't working, and you're trying to respec, but your build doesn't fit with your gear because the old gear you used to play, let's say Whirlwind, it doesn't fit on your Hammer of the Ancient Barb anymore. So you can't swap back because you're like, oh, I'm just going to go back to Whirlwind. Wait, motherfucker, you got 10 level. You got 10 level. So all the gear you had from your Whirlwind Barbarian from 10 level ago, it's all shit. Now you can't play anymore. You bricked your character. Sorry. I'll calm myself down. It is not the biggest issue. But I think that other than the fact that you can't really respect your character, the fucking skills are boring. I've been playing an Armor of the Ancient character, okay? And it's basically just shouting, rah, 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 spamming my shout. I'll show you, okay? And for people who tell me, well, that's the way you decided to play it. No, I didn't decide to play it like that. I need Fury. I need my fucking War Cries. I'm using War Cries. It's just how this game works. Like, so basically what you do is
Not well.
I want this video to be short. Come on. Yeah, I don't know why they took out the fucking boost of horses in town, but whatever. You get here. So basically what you do is... Oh, come on, man. So basically what you do is war cry, war cry, war cry. And then you hammer... I can't because I have no target, but... And then basically you just hammer something. No. And if you get an elite, you use this. And then you smash some more. And that's the whole gameplay. Welcome to Diablo 4. And some classes, because they give you, and this, again, this is my opinion, but they give you the illusion of choice. You have the illusion of all these choices. But basically what it does is, if you play Armor of the Ancient, you gotta level a certain amount of things. And you gotta level this for having the plus 1%. And you wanna have plus 1%. And that's all it is. There's no really way to be like, oh, I want to play Hammer of the Ancient and I want to use that grapple thing. No, because you know, I've been playing this game for 8 hours and I already know what's shit and what's not. You know what I mean? Like you get into the game, you try them a bit and you're like, this is garbage. And then you try something else and you're like, this is garbage. And you're like, and ultimately it has been designed around the fact that you're going to use one ability. So the thing you're going to do is boost that one ability. Like if you're playing Whirlwind, you're not going to boost anything else. It wouldn't be efficient. So you're going to boost that one ability, and the whole game is designed around boosting that one ability. So you're using one spender and one thing to get your fury up, and that is it. And it would be cool if they, you don't have to limit us to that kind of play. You could have a bigger bar. Give me a couple defensive. You don't have to have like a World of Warcraft bar with 20 spells, but nothing prevented them from adding like 2 bars and have more spells like in Path of Exile. Give me some defensive, give me some utility, give me some things to do so it feels different. At least that sometimes I could have a panic button with the, that could have been an original one. I could have had a panic button with the 2-minute cooldowns that has nothing to do with my damage. That's just like, oh, you press that button and you just smash on the ground and everything gets stunned for like a mile away, and you're fine. But it has a 2-minute cooldown and you can't do anything about it. So it's like, oh, that's cool, I'm gonna put that on my bar. Or I don't know, something I just put like, oh, you have infinite leap for like a minute. Oh, cool, so now I can leap everywhere. It would have been easy to put. It would have been easy to implement, but they just went basic bitch, and it's not a fun game. I'm not having fun. That's why I tried my barbarian, because I tried my sorcerer. I had the same issue. I thought it was boring as fuck. I changed. I went, maybe a melee class was going to be better, but they're both super vanilla. They're both boring. It's like a game from 15 years ago. That's what it feels like. There was more customization in Diablo 2 than there is in Diablo 4. If you think the Paragon board is going to help you, the Paragon board is just going to give you a bit more strength on what you're already using. It is not going to make your gameplay different. Maybe I'm just like shitting on the game because I don't like the gameplay, but everything in this game, in my opinion, is boring. It's not fun. It's fun for the first 10 hours, 15 hours, and after that, there is no fun to be have. But hey, that's all for my video. If you disagree, leave in the comment. Please try it for 15 hours before shitting on me. If you've been playing for 30 hours and you're still having fun, maybe I'm wrong. But from what I'm hearing, from what I've been testing, if you've been playing this game for a while, you get into the end game, you then get to the grind. It's rinse and repeat. Farm a dungeon, get gear you can't use. It's extremely boring. But hey, leave in the comments if you like. Leave in the comments if you didn't like, and I see you guys next time. Hope they fix this shit. But I think nobody's gonna be playing it in 2 weeks. Good luck with that, Blizzard.